So, all the current rumors about Spider-Man 4 suggest you'll get a combination of street-level grounded stuff and multiversal stuff. But like, how? How can the street-level rumors involving Kingpin and Daredevil do the fusion dance with multiversal stuff like Tobey and Andrew? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I want to break down all the different rumors about the plot of Spider-Man 4 and explain all the ways the multiverse could be injected into this story. So at the very least, you'll get a refresher of all the rumors that are out there for Spider-Man 4, but I think it's also possible we nailed down the exact way that Sony and Marvel are going to inject the multiverse stuff into this movie. But okay, let's start with the basic Spider-Man 4 rumors. The rumor is that Vincent D'Onofrio will be Kingpin in the movie. He will become the mayor of New York City, and he will outlaw vigilantes. These are probably the oldest rumors for Spider-Man 4. It has to do with them combining this movie with the Daredevil Born Again plot, which will see Mayor Wilson Fisk happen. This is teased in the Echo show. It's long-standing. These are long-standing rumors. Now, one interesting way that just those basic rumors could become multiversal is via the Kingpin being helped or aided by somebody from the multiverse. And this could tie into Kang or the Council of Kangs, and basically you could have one of the variants of Kang coming into 616 and basically messing with the heroes. This Kang variant could help Fisk become the mayor, but we don't know if that's going to happen because there's a lot of evidence suggesting that Marvel's now going away from Kang completely. And from the story perspective, according to the end of Loki Season 2, the TVA is watching every single variant of Kang that is out there in the multiverse, and they will act if any of them take action that could harm the multiverse. However, there are more recent rumors that Marvel might replace the concept of the Council of Kangs with other multiversal villains. Like you could get a King Thanos, a version of Ultron, a version of the Red Skull, or something even crazier out there in the multiverse manipulating the heroes. So maybe they could do this with Kang if they're not moving away from Kang. Maybe they could do it with another villain if they want to have a new villain sort of replace the concept of Kang in the multiverse saga. But the only problem here is that that still ties to the MCU. And it seems like what Sony wants is to tie to the multiverse that they have control of, something more Spider-Man-esque. Recently, Daniel RPK reported that the multiverse will exist past Secret Wars, and that's because of Sony. Essentially, Sony just sees the multiverse as this great thing where they can bring in all kinds of different characters, all kinds of different versions of Spider-Man. They've been very successful in the Across the Spider-Verse movies, and they will likely be successful with future multiverse stuff. And there are new rumors also suggesting that you might get a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. Thomas Church is talking about that. Insider Alex Perez is hinting that there could be another movie with Tobey Maguire. And I also want to say, I have heard some rumors that the original plan was to have Miguel O'Hara from the Across the Spider-Verse movie actually be working with Kang the Conqueror. And that's crazy because that would actually mean that that AI that aids Miguel could actually be a version of Miss Minutes that Kang created for him. And if that is true, it just implies that that's the logic. That's what Marvel was going to do. They were going to have the Kangs working with all of these other villains, including Miguel over on the side of Sony, and it was basically all going to be working together to be this big, masterful mess of multiversal goodness. So maybe that's still the plan. Maybe some multiversal entity will be the thing that helps Fisk become the mayor, and then that's just unnatural, and that's what brings in the other multiversal elements, either the TVA or the Spider-Boy. So that could still very much happen. Now, there's another rumor when it comes to Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 that makes me think multiverse, and this has to do with mention of Ant-Man. Daniel RPK said that a current version of the story would involve Scott Lang's Ant-Man. And to me, this seems like an obvious connection to Quantum Mania and the Kang and the Council of Kangs. I mean, the way that Quantum Mania ends has Scott coming back into our Earth, but he's worried that maybe he didn't actually do the right thing and that maybe Kang is still a big threat. Some people have gone as far as to suggest that when Scott comes back into the timeline, there's something weird about the universe, that maybe he's stuck in some kind of a time loop. So maybe the connection to Fisk and the connection to the weird 616 events happening is because of some kind of time manipulation, and maybe Scott, being a person that has gone through the quantum realm, has gone through time, maybe Scott will be aware of that in some way. Maybe he's trying to go get Peter Parker because Scott is aware that this timeline, the universe, everything that's happening right now is being manipulated by some kind of multiversal entity. Now, the obvious problems with that are that Marvel's likely moving away from Kang. Like, I really believe they're moving away from Kang, but they might be trying to keep some of those foundational ideas, mainly that there's a group of villains out there in the multiverse manipulating heroes. But another problem with this being the way that Sony and Marvel inject the multiverse is because it stays in the MCU. It's just Marvel 616 stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with what Sony's doing. And I think Sony really wants multiversal connections so that they can go do their own multiversal thing. Now, the next rumor for Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland is really crazy, and I think maybe the most likely way that they will inject the multiverse. This has to do with rumors of the Sinister Six being in the film. Now, the way this has currently been explained by multiple insiders is that Spider-Man is going to be hunted by vigilantes or bounty hunters, and that Wilson Fisk is going to publicly, as the mayor, denounce vigilantism and say that all of the heroes in New York City have to stop being heroes. But then he will secretly be hiring mercenaries to cause more trouble, to make the public turn against these heroes and vigilantes. And because Spider-Man is going to be trying to thwart Kingpin's plans, Kingpin will be bringing in mercenaries and people to try to stop and kill Spider-Man. And I think a lot of those mercenaries are going to end up being the Sinister Six. I mean, it reminds me a lot of the old 90s Spider-Man cartoon, but there are also rumors that make this seem very likely. There are rumors that Michael Keaton's Vulture will be in Spider-Man 4. There are big time rumors that Kraven from the Sonyverse is going to be coming in to Spider-Man 4. And if you look at the Morbius post-credit scene and the way that Vulture just popped into that other timeline, talked about how they need to team up and get Spider-Man, I can just see other villains being brought into our universe the same way that Keaton went into the Morbius universe. And now all of a sudden you have multiversal variants of Sinister Six villains that are going to be working for the Kingpin in Spider-Man 4. And I guess this could be cool. I mean, I like the Sinister Six, and you know, even though the Sony stuff is really weak and weird, I guess it could be cool if they came over to the MCU. That's technically what happens in Spider-Man No Way Home. You have Sony villains come into the MCU and they're all much better and improved. I wonder if fans would notice that and be frustrated that it's essentially the same kind of thing, but maybe not, and maybe it's awesome, and maybe Kraven will actually be a good movie and we'll be like, dude, yeah, no, I would like to see that Kraven come in and hunt Spider-Man and Tom Holland Spider-Man 4. And I suppose all of that could lead to the Spider Boys, Tobey and Andrew, coming into the 616 at the end of that movie and being like, hey, Peter, I know you think you're just fighting against all these villains, but these guys are actually still from the multiverse. Something went wrong the last time. There's crazy things going on in the multiverse. We need your help. Let's all go do a Sony multiverse movie now. And there's a lot of evidence that this is the actual way it's going to go down. A lot of insiders teasing and hinting that Kraven's going to come from the Sonyverse into the MCU for Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. But on top of that, there are all these long-standing plans established by Sony to do a Sinister Six movie. They've already done it a little bit in Spider-Man No Way Home. And you look at the Morbius post-credit scene, and it's obvious that that's something Sony wants. So I could see Sony being like, hey, we want to bring in the multiverse because we want to do this thing we've been trying to do for years. But the last rumor for Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 all has to do with the symbiote suit and Venom, and this is another obvious play for the multiverse. Remember that the symbiote in Venom 2 tells Eddie Brock that he has knowledge of all kinds of different universes, all kinds of different realities, but he doesn't show Eddie Brock because Eddie's mind will just melt. Remember too that the Venom symbiote recognizes Spider-Man when he comes into the 616. He already knows who Spider-Man is. This is likely due to hive mind database collection information type shit, with all the symbiotes from throughout the multiverse having some kind of connection and ability to share knowledge. And we obviously know that a bit of the symbiote suit was left behind by Venom in 616. At the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, with the post-credit scene, there's that little symbiote sitting on the bar. It's here. And how that ties into Spider-Man 4 is really interesting. Apparently at the end of the movie, Tom Holland is supposed to get the symbiote. He's going to get the symbiote suit. And I've also been told that the end of Venom 3 will connect to Tom Holland getting the symbiote suit. And so you'll have Venom and Eddie Brock going out into the multiverse at the end of Venom 3 to go find Tom Holland's Spider-Man, which in turn could lead Venom to not just Tom Holland, but Tom and Andrew and Tobey, if they all end up together going to do something in the multiverse. Because again, it's obvious that Sony badly wants Tom Hardy's Venom to be fighting against Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They've been teasing it out from day one. They keep trying to do it. The closest we've gotten is the weird he's here and then he's gone post-credit scene thing between Venom 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home. So I really think it'll be a combination of the Sinister Six villains having to do with the multiverse, the Spider-Boys coming in and maybe recruiting Peter to go do something because the multiverse is at stake. I think they might try to connect that to the Across the Spider-Verse movies, especially the third one, which Tobey and Andrew are heavily supposed to be in, and then they'll connect all of that to Venom, the Venom symbiote that was left behind in Spider-Man No Way Home, and the symbiote Venom itself for the Tom Hardy Venom film. And I think Venom 3 might lead to Eddie Brock going out into the multiverse to go find Tom Holland. And so really what I think we're talking about here is a grounded street level movie with Tom Holland's Spider-Man where things are just more than they seem. So like for the most part, the movie is just going to be Spider-Man dealing with Kingpin, dealing with these mercenaries, hanging out with Daredevil, maybe hanging out with Ant-Man, and there'll be this sort of lingering idea that the multiverse is not okay, that the events of No Way Home did not end cleanly, and there's consequences to what they did back then. Remember, that is mentioned by Miguel in Across the Spider-Verse. And then I think at some point it will be revealed that there's a multiversal element to the Sinister Six villains helping Wilson Fisk. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but it actually sounds pretty cool. But there you have it, guys. All the rumors about Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland and how I think it'll connect to the multiverse. Remember, Sony and Marvel are currently negotiating the way for this film to be grounded and have multiversal elements. So this is just how I think they're going to do it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.